Good morning, everyone. It is Friday, October 28th. Finally getting in here to do a video, and I have the hourly chart of the futures up here. And the reason I have this up is I kind of see a little bit of a pattern starting to form. And this is just an hourly pattern, but potentially an inverse. We'll see if we do a little of this, and then a little of this. Inverse head and shoulders potentially forming there, so just keep an eye on that. But when we come back here and look on our daily chart, you can see yesterday, big red day yesterday in the ES. However, the Dow was strong because we had some good numbers in industrials, and that gave us a really nice bump in the Dow. We also had McDonald's report well. Honeywell, a lot of good names yesterday in the Dow Jones 30. So that particular sector moved very well. However, real struggle bus in several of the tech names, bringing the Qs down. So we definitely had a mixed bag yesterday. But nonetheless, let's take a look here. So this is the daily for the ES, and I can also kind of say here maybe we have a wonky, actually I don't know what this is, never mind, I can't see a clear pattern in there, but we did bounce the 34 here after a big red day yesterday, and then in the overnight hour we actually came all the way back down here to this 375.89. This is the weekly open price. You can see that right here, 1024. This is the weekly open, which happened to be a little bit of resistance going into last week. If you extend that back into last week. So we also paused, couldn't quite break and hold over the 50. Obviously that is a big area as well. But here's what it looks like this morning. Since about 1 o'clock we actually came right down here within a penny of this this weekly open, and I've kind of been churning up a little bit. Some of that might be on Apple. So Apple came in and actually started doing quite well. This is a gap that was in Apple. We'll now have a gap on the downside if we don't come and fill this during market hours. The overnight or extended hours don't fill the gap for my charts. Now, if they do for yours, totally different. Excuse me. But I always take extended hours off for looking at gaps. Anyway, we'll have a gap here left here if we hold this over this 145 area. So, okay, let's go back here and take a look at energy. So I am a big fan of energy still. I took a position in Oxy yesterday, and it is down, but this is one when I put it out there, I said I was willing to swing Oxy. It's down actually pretty substantially here, about 30% down. It was holding most of the day around 12-14% down and took a nosedive right at the end of the day. However, you can see here on our chart we actually just put in a doji yesterday, but holding above all these major moving averages, pinned a little bit here by this point of control, but again coming right back in today, energy into the winter. And with everything going on geopolitically, so everything in the Ukraine and then China opening back up, we'll see a lot of there's a lot of catalyst potentially in there. So that's why I still like energy. I like banks as well. We have the November Fed meeting next week on Tuesday and Wednesday. Wednesday will be the rate decision, and on Wednesday we are expecting a 75 basis point. But what now the analysts are saying is that they believe that there'll be a softening of language and maybe indicating a pause of rate hikes based on the data. Well, data is lagging. They need to just act instead of react, but that's my own personal opinion. All right, let's hop into a few charts. Netflix, like Netflix here, we went through this gap here. We have a gap all the way up here. We're in a gap. We gapped into a gap. Let's put that. Okay, so this started a gap here at 251.62. So we have this gap down here. So we gapped into this gap, working through a gap that'll fill at 333.22. Really nice earnings beat, bullish gap, move above the 200. So I still really like this. Took a little bit of a pause yesterday. I like the Netflix 300. I'm pushing these out into December, but the November 18th still look, they look good as well. Like the Netflix 300 call, I want to enter there around 298.33. I'm going to use the 3 EMA as a close. If it closes below there, I would not swing it. I'm still for myself, I would like to lean on day trades instead of overnight holds, unless it's energy or maybe industrials or healthcare. But really, mostly energy is what I'm willing to hold overnight. Netflix, really targeting that gap fill here at 30.33.22. All right, so we just talked about banks a little bit. I like the look in the financial sector. Let me take this little drawing off. There we go. We kissed the 200 yesterday before pulling back in. Nice big move. We had a big earnings move. Had several. We had the banks take a nice little run there last week, and just continuing to move higher. Now this is pretty extended, but yesterday the ATR, so that's the average true range, was not met. It was a little quiet there, under 60%. So we're looking for things that are, not quite at their ATR. If you're looking to enter, kind of maybe stick to that 60-65% as the top range. Otherwise, I feel like it's chasing. JPM a little bit behind the curve here, but I like this look. Kiss the 200. We're looking for a move through that, and that would be my entry at 125.88. I would close this one as well below the 3 EMA. And just strength rate hikes coming up. The banks have actually just started to perform. Finally, I would target 127.39 and 129.56. Lastly, taking a little venture here over into Roblox. Not one that I trade a lot. Nice little earnings catalyst coming up here. We're over the 200. We had a bullish gap. Used that, kept going, took a nice little pause, and now moving into earnings. So I like the 170 call here. Now I did put down the 1216, but again, this one with it reporting here so soon, you could certainly look at the November 18th monthly. The 170, I did not put that down right now, did I? Nope, I did not. Sorry, the 45 call. Got to change. The 45 call is the one I like here. You can push that up to the 50. Both of those have a lot of good open interest. Entry around 46.90, stopping at 45.50. Again, bullish gap over the 200. Earnings catalyst, a lot of good stuff built in there. My targets are 47.67, 48.59, and then we actually enter a gap. It's not marked here on this chart, but there is a gap up there. Other bullish names that I like, again, energy. These reported this morning, and most of them beat both on the top and bottom line, and have announced whether it be increased dividends or share buybacks, adding to the strength in the energy sector. So XOM, CVX, I'm already in Oxy, so I like all of these. Take a look at cruise lines. So RCL, CCL, they are seeing great bookings. So there you go. Take a look at that. And here's one that, goodness gracious, as a day trade, took a little pause finally yesterday, but look at this, since earnings, just marching right up the chart. So Big Blue continuing to perform. On the downside, some of those chip names, I would not be a big fan of any of the Chinese stocks right now, with the pressure they're under from Xi Jinping, so be on the lookout for those. All right, that is it for me today. If you have any questions, please reach out. Heather C at GivingTreeTrading.com. I should be here all day. Lexi is feeling better and back to school, so I should be here. Thanks for being so patient with me these past couple weeks with all the sick kids. I appreciate it. Hope you have a great day.